The easiest hack to get top marks in your Macbeth essay is to use key themes. So after this video, you're gonna know the key themes and how to apply them, how to analyze the extract and organize your ideas so you can easily get a top grade in Macbeth. And at the end as well, I'm gonna go through a full example to break this down for you so you can see exactly how to do it. So the first thing you want to do is pick out key themes. Now, we have an acronym that we use on the Lightup Hub called VAGAS. That's a really easy way for you to remember all of the key themes in Macbeth, and these key themes link to everything. So we have violence, ambition, guilt, gender, appearance versus reality, and the supernatural. And on every single one of these on the Lightup Hub, we have a key theme video from Macbeth that goes into grade 9 analysis with key quotes, keywords, writer's intentions, context, all done for you. So if you've got any of these key themes or anything that it links to, you've already got all the analysis already done for you. I'll put a link in the description below so you can check that out if you want to. So the reason why we have these 6 key themes is because these can link to any question that you're given. And that goes with anything. You want to have key themes that can link to multiple questions. So even if you don't get a question that's explicitly on guilt, when I say explicit, like it doesn't say how is guilt presented, it might have something that links to it. Like for example, how is Lady Macbeth presented as having a downfall? Downfall, we could link to guilt. So these key themes, the only ones you need, and you only need quotes for these key themes because you can link this to everything else. Okay, cool. So now we've got the key themes. What we want to do for step 2 is we want to theme each paragraph. So we want to link each paragraph to one of our 6 key themes from VAGAS. So say, for example, if the question is, how is ambition presented in Macbeth? We want to think of 3 other key themes that link to ambition. So I'm going to use violence, guilt, and the supernatural. And then the third thing you want to do with key themes is you want to decide how each of those key themes links back to the question. So for example, if we looked at violence, I'm going to explain the link of how violence and ambition link together. Macbeth's insatiable ambition drives him to commit heinous, so wicked acts. Thus, he becomes a violent tyrant. So you can see there, my word from the question is ambition, which I've put it in, but then I've linked it to my key theme. I'm just making the link here that ambition drives him to be violent. And that's the link I'm making between these 2 key themes. And that also makes it super easy because throughout the entirety of my paragraph, all I'm focused on is ambition and violence. All my analysis will link back to how violence is linked to ambition because of course his ambition propels him to be more violent. Let's look at guilt. Lady Macbeth's ambition is her hamartia, which is a fatal flaw that leads to her downfall, as she becomes consumed with the prospect of power, which consequently causes her to become engulfed, meaning consumed, with guilt. So you can see very clearly here, I've linked ambition to guilt, saying that her ambition causes her to be guilty. And you can see there so clearly, guys, how these key themes all link together because they're the main overarching ideas in the entirety of the play. That's how they link. Okay, now we're gonna go through a past paper style question and show you exactly how to apply it so you know how to do it for your next Macbeth essay. So this is the extract. I'm just gonna put it on the screen for you here. Just pause it to read it through. This is from Act 2, Scene 1, when we see the very famous, this is a dagger which I see before me. So the question we're gonna be looking at, explore how Shakespeare presents Macbeth's inner conflict. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna write down our 6 key themes. So we're gonna write down VAGAS, violence, ambition, guilt, gender, appearance versus reality, and supernatural. And I'm gonna think about firstly, for the extract, what is the key theme I'm gonna link it to? And I think the best key theme that works for this one is guilt. I'm just gonna write down very briefly when I'm writing out my little plan, I'm gonna write extract or paragraph 1, guilt. Now for my other 2 paragraphs, what I would be doing is then thinking what are other moments or quotes that I've pre-learned that would link very nicely to inner conflict, but could also link to the other key themes. So I'm gonna think about inner conflict and Macbeth's lack of inner conflict when it comes to the supernatural. So paragraph 2, I'm gonna write down supernatural. And then the third one, I'm gonna look through my key themes and think, okay, what are the quotes kind of link to this key theme that I can link to inner conflict? And I'm going to think, oh, what I'm going to talk about is Macbeth's inner conflict when Lady Macbeth is trying to manipulate him and basically persuade him to commit regicide, killing of the king. So I'm going to use the theme of appearance versus reality because I'm going to link that one really nicely. So I know when I write up my points, my point for every single one of my paragraphs has got to have the word from the question, which of course is inner conflict, and then one of my key themes. And I'm going to keep each paragraph really, really focused on that key theme and the word in the question. So let's look at how I'd actually write this up. And what I'd actually recommend you to do is a little bit of a practice, is when you are practice planning your essays, to do it like this, writing up your thesis statement. Your thesis statement is just basically your first sentence, the thing that's going to introduce your point, because the more you can get practicing with how you're going to link it to key themes and what quotes and analysis you're going to use, the easier it will be. And of course, on the Lightup Hub, we already give you the quotes and analysis for all these key themes. So all you've got to do is just know how to apply them. So let's go for my paragraph 1, which is based on the extract. Shakespeare shows Macbeth's inner conflict as a manifestation of his all-consuming guilt. You can see there, inner conflict, my word for the question, and then guilt, of course, is my theme that I'm going to be linking it to. He becomes engulfed, so consumed, with insanity as a result of his sinful act of regicide. Killing of the king. You can see very clearly there, I've just explained it, but I've linked it into the context of course, the extract, because I've got to use the extract. Now let's look at my paragraph 2, which is now talking about the supernatural, and look very closely at how I've linked it and explained how the supernatural ties to inner conflict. Macbeth becomes entranced, drawn in with the witch's hypnotic supernatural prophecies and allure, so pull of power. Interestingly, Macbeth shows no signs of inner conflict when presented with these prophecies, as he so desperately wants them to materialize. When I say wants them to materialize, he really wants them to come true, so he doesn't really question it. He doesn't have this inner conflict. And just so you know as well, guys, because so many of you don't know this, you can also argue against the statement. The question is about how it presents his inner conflict. So you can say that he does have inner conflict, but he also doesn't have inner conflict. You can still actually argue that. But so many students don't know that you can do that you can argue it on the other side. And as long as you have a consistent line of argument like I do, and I'm going to be talking about the supernatural, then it's an absolute yes, you can do it. And the examiner will actually like that you're being more critical. And lastly, let's look at appearance versus reality. So I'm going to be linking how inner conflict and appearance versus reality link in regards to Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. Shakespeare constructs Lady Macbeth to personify the motif is a recurring symbol theme, of appearance versus reality. Despite her manipulative tactics, Macbeth has a clear inner conflict when she is encouraging him to be duplicitous, meaning deceitful, wanting him to appear to be an honourable follower of Duncan, yet in reality being a bloodthirsty tyrant. So again, you can see very clearly, I've explained it. I've not just said, appearance versus reality, but I've actually explained the link and how it links to his inner conflict. So this is a really easy way, guys, that you can use this for Macbeth. You could also use this for any of your other key texts. And of course, if you want all the analysis, do check it out. I will put a link in the description below. But I'm also going to put a little video here to help you further with your Macbeth revision.